Well, in Yiddish, I'm DEENA DEE. My bubba used to call me Deena. And in English, unfortunately, I'm Dolores, Harriet, Bornstein, Howard, Dermake. I'll leave out a few. I think I'm a little different than usual. Not too good, but I don't know.
Why do you think you're not good?
Well, most Jewish kids, they just get married and raise their kids and blah, 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 you know. And I've been picking guys and marrying how many of them already. And
your parents spoke to you in Yiddish?
the whole family all conversed in Yiddish, except when they didn't want its kids to know what they're saying, they would all revert back to Polish. Like sitting around the table in the evening, they want the kids to go to bed. Oh, let's tell them to go to bed a time later. It's the don't spatch. Kids need to go to bed. But that was the original language because they all came from Poland. In fact, when my dad came here, he had a girlfriend he was supporting in Poland. He went back to get her. When he got there, he found out that she had some guy on the side. And the guy grabbed him and says, "Hey, wait, I got a girl I want you to meet in this other town in Plutsk." And they hit it off. So, it's funny how he tells the story. He gave her some money to buy some travel garments or some, and she came back to him and gave him the change. And he always laughed about that. So anyway, he married her and he came back without her because there's a quota on Jews at that time couldn't come into this country. In 1927 or 8, she got passage on a ship and came across. So when she came here, she had to live with her mother-in-law and father-in-law in one big family. That's how it was originally. A lot of people lived together. I can still see my bubba sitting on the back porch rubbing horseradish to make chlorine. You know what chlorine is? Put the radish in there, the red radish, and to make it
filter
red.
Fish.
Yeah.
How old are you today?
Now? Well, I'm 90 and a quarter. August 25, 1930.
So you arrived from Chicago to Petaluma. Was there a big Jewish community?
Yes, yes. Yes, they were all chicken ranchers, and a few of them had cows, but they all had chickens, broilers. Now, broilers, a few of them had hens, laying hens, but not many. Most of them had broilers.
And today, are you connected with animals?
Oh, absolutely. That's my whole life.
So what do you do?
Well, I still have my cows.
Was your husband Jewish?
No, they came from Minnesota, and they had dairy cows. He was very talented. He could do anything and everything. He was extremely gifted in music and art. He could build and do anything. And I didn't appreciate him fully until he was gone, and I realized what all he did and and I'm sorry that he had to see a terrible tragedy before he left this world. Everything we worked for years, we had a terrible, 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 tragic fire. Fire burned for a whole week. I don't have anything worthwhile or happy. I had a very sad life. And I thought my kids would be my comfort, but didn't turn out like that. My two oldest kids, my two boys, there's no mother in the whole world that ever had two better boys. And I want to say a bad word, government obliterated them for no good reason. They were young. Just killed and murdered them, literally. And then I had three more kids besides them. My two girls worked with the livestock and did very well. And both of my girls went to visit Israel when they were in high school. And they treated them very well, especially the older girl. They put her to work in the dairy because that was a big privilege. And she hated it because there was mice running around there. And, but I don't know what got into her. Both of them ended up marrying Israelis. And one is just like us, and the other one is extremely religious. And, but one ended up in Canada. And I thought she'd be the one to carry on my livestock, but I don't know what got into her head. She got so impossible, so self-centered, so selfish, so stupidly selfish, so pathetic. She's banned from my life. And my youngest, the fifth one, same thing. He did such terrible things in the family, he's banned. And so I have just one daughter, who is a nurse. I married very, very young to a wild Irishman, which was a disaster very quickly. Then I took a try at another guy, didn't work. And then I found this nice Jewish boy in Brady's Bar. I put 20 years in with that man. It was like a jail sentence because he was so extreme different than me. He wanted to sit on the couch and watch ball games, and I wanted to get out in the world and buy real estate and do some trading and some working and some earning and some cows and some whatever. And he couldn't see it. So I divorced him. And then when I met this man I was talking about a few minutes ago, in '74, I was already 40 years old. And his health got bad. And it took a lot of time, but he's a wonderful man, and I surely wish we'd have had children. I'd give anything to have that man back, even for one day. I wish we'd have had children. If I'd have met George when I was 20, instead of married that first guy when I was 16, we could have had a happy life and good children, instead of the rotten kids I got now. Two of them, I told my one daughter in Santa Rosa that I have to leave everything too. Told her, after I'm gone, if you ever have your brother or your sister from Canada come over the gateway on my ranch, I'm coming back out of the grave and strangle everybody. And if you think I'm kidding, you'll see.
If your kids were watching this video, what good thing would you want to say to them? Even the ones that you don't get along with.
I tell them, get lost, don't come within 100 yards of me ever for no reason.
Do you feel that God protected you in your life?
I don't believe in God because I've had such an ugly, hateful, hard life, and I don't think I'm that bad of a person that I deserve that. I don't think there's no God. And some days, I have to tell you the truth, I get so mad, I say, if you're up there, I hope you fall down and break your goddamn head. God forgive me for saying that if there is one. But that's the truth.
When you feel Jewish?
When I feel Jewish? When I was with my belive, who I spent a lot of time with, very, very Jewish. You don't get no more Jewish than that. Her cooking, oh man. And her beliefs, but honest. No put on, no phony baloney. She truly in her heart believed. And she was in the shul, which is just across the alley from where she lived. I used to run upstairs to the balcony where all the ladies were sitting and visit with her. She was so proud of me. She'd brag to all the ladies around, oh, my granddaughter.
Do you celebrate any Jewish holidays?
Well, in the back of my mind, I'm aware of them. And I think about them. I don't do anything about it. All the tradition and the food and the attitude and the family ties and all that. There was differences and odd things in the family, but nobody was, not the kind of things that I have now with my kids, unheard of. No, it's different. Everything is, well, I don't even know what, Americanized? I'm not so proud of that word, American, really. My two sons came home from fighting for this country overseas in the midst of the war. They treated him like garbage, and they killed him in the street like garbage.